And hello good people of the internet, it is I, Tommy Kelly, and this is Adventures in Woo Woo. And this is, if my calculations are correct, the 75th video of the daily videos. Now I have kind of been thinking that maybe I'm going to stop doing these for a while, or do them in some, maybe not every day or something, but I don't know. For the time being, I'll still continue at them. But I've noticed that everyone else who's been kind of doing videos every week since the lockdown, or every day, or whatever, they've all kind of stopped a couple of weeks ago, so it's obviously taking their toll on people. But I don't know. My kind of concern is that I find it, particularly with last week, I don't really have that much to say, or that I'm just kind of finding things hard to talk about, and rather than just kind of blabbling about my life, which an awful lot of them are, which is a bit narcissistic, but that's what YouTube is, I suppose, it's just people blabbling about their life. But maybe send me in some topics and on music, magic, art, whatever, living in Ireland, what Spud is like in real life, any of those things, whatever you want, and I'll see what I can talk about. Now, someone did ask me to talk about something, and Tom over on Facebook, he asked me, after I put up my video of me playing guitar on Facebook, he was asking me about, could you make a video just talking about how all of this kind of stuff ties together, from the music, from the art, the magic, all of that, because he finds that an awful lot of people in the kind of magic circles are also into creativity and art or music, and it seems to be something that's all around. So I totally agree. I think there is, well, for me, like, magic equals art, and I find it very hard to distinguish between the two, but of course I can, like, I mean, but the kind of principles behind both seem to be the same, just the canvas seems to be a bit different. And I've talked about this with Spud on the podcast, kind of tipped in on it or whatever, and he keeps pointing out that an awful lot of people who are into magic also do comics. An awful lot of people who are into magic also make music and also make films or movies, if you're not Irish. And there seems to be an awful lot of creativity that goes hand in hand with this. And I think that an awful lot of my kind of interest in magic or the occult or spirituality or anything like that, well, it may have initially stemmed from a wanting to know what the fuck is going on, what am I doing, or trying to find my place in the world, or even trying to get some leverage over other people in the sense of knowing something that the dead didn't, or, you know, all that kind of stuff that, while it's not kind of good stuff, but, you know, it can all be part of your journey along the way. But I think, and excuse me if I keep rubbing my eye, I think I have a hair in it. I think it all then became kind of just one big thing that I do, and kind of how my outlook in life kind of is. For a long while, I had to kind of hide the magic thing or the spirituality thing, not because I was necessarily ashamed of it or didn't want to talk about it, but just the people I was around weren't into it, and I didn't want to try to change people's minds or debate about it. And if they weren't interested, then there was no point in talking about it. So I kind of hid it in a lot of ways. Also part of, I didn't want to be kind of seen as that guy or that weirdo or whatever. Then a couple of years ago, I just came out and no one cares. That's essentially it. No one really cares. It's not, that wasn't a big kind of shock or the big kind of, I didn't lose any friends, or no one's, you know, thinks I'm, well, no one thinks I'm weird, says it to me, to my face. But the whole thing, I suppose, about creativity and all of this all stems from this kind of notion that I have, that I stole mostly from Alan Moore, but seems to be true, that there is something other that's in the ether out there in some other plane that seems to want to become manifest in the physical world, and we seem to be the conduits for that. And from an art point of view, that could be a story, that could be a comic, it could be a drawing, it could be a movie, it could be a book, it could be poetry, it could be sculpture, it could be any number of things artistically. It could be music, and there seems to be something about music that is inherently magical. It's the most magical thing that I can kind of point at, that because everyone's into music in some way. It's a very odd time, and it's very odd people that you meet go, oh, I'm just not into music. It's really kind of takes you back, and well, I don't really know how to talk to you, but, you know, like, it's at least there's the common ground between everyone that seems to be into music. So it seems to be the most magical thing, and it seems to affect people in ways that no other art form does. That's not to say that other art forms don't affect people. Of course, a beautiful painting can, you know, absolutely affect you. Films can make you cry, make you happy, make you laugh, make you think about the world. All that. A book can change your life. But music has some sort of, I don't know, some sort of quality to it that just surpasses all of these art forms. For me, anyway. Like, I mean, other opinions are indeed available, and yours probably may differ from me, and your mileage may vary, and all of those things. So what I kind of see the magic learning and the stuff, it's not for the magic per se. It's not for the sake of magic. That's not the kind of goal. It's not the goal to become the best wizard in the world. It's not the goal to become the most knowledgeable on any of these subjects, or, you know, the goal is not, for me, in a sense, the spiritual attainment. It's using the kind of things from the spiritual magic occult things and channeling them in a way so that I become more creative, or I'm a better channel for art, more, you know, more able to take these things from idea space, whatever they are, and manifest them. And so it's kind of, it's a bit like, I suppose, how you define yourself. And you see some people who define themselves, say, by their religion, or define themselves by their sexuality, or define themselves by their nationality, or any of these kind of things. They always kind of feel, well, that's fine, do whatever you want. Everyone, you know, who's for me to say. But for me, it was never something I wanted to do. I wanted to define myself by what I do, by what I produce, by what I, you know, what it is that I do. So I'm not a wizard, I'm an artist, you know, and if anyone asks me this, I always say I'm an artist because I produce art. The wizard stuff is kind of an augmentation, not an augmentation, a backup of that. It's a thing that I use to create art. It's a thing to inform me, to widen my thoughts, to expand my mind, all of that, so that I become able to be a conduit of more creativity and more art. So it's a secondary thing in many ways to the art. But again, with that remembrance that magic equals art and art equals magic, and it's all very similar and all the same. It's the same, not even the same coin, because that implies that it's the flip of it. It's all part of the same sphere, the same ball, the same thing. So it all fits together by being all the same thing. That's the only way I can kind of describe it, is that, and it was more became aware of this when the music came back to me, when I started, you know, reclaiming music, when Pan decided that, hey, you know, don't forget you're a musician, and just kind of seeing that it's all part of who I am, and rather than trying to, you know, define yourself as one thing, wizard, an artist, a writer, YouTuber, musician, or whatever, it's just all of this kind of comes together. And I think that's the thing that Tom is pointing at, is that seems to be a common kind of experience of people who are into magic, that they are also into other stuff. And I'm not sure that it is, you know, it might be unique to magic, but it's certainly a thing that happens in magic or occult or spirituality. And I think we can get a bit caught up sometimes on overemphasizing the spirituality or the magic kind of points, and not do enough of the creativity, not using these tools to do something rather than just hoard them, debate them, you know, make ourselves feel more superior, or, you know, whatever, try these great spiritual attainments. But for what reason? Why are we trying to become enlightened? Why are we trying to become awakened? Why are we trying to do the magic? Once, say, we have basic needs met, and I'm aware that not everyone's basic needs are met, but once you kind of pass that kind of section of your life that is emergency magic, where, you know, and sometimes it comes in and out, like, I'm not saying my life's perfect by any means, but what do you do with it then? Like, where are you going? What is the point of magic? What's the use of magic? What's the use of all of these things? Unless there's some, for me, in my opinion, some form of using that for art. Because I think that's what we're, I think that's what we're here for. I think that's what it is, to, in some way, take those ideas, those things that are, I don't know, they're not up there or in there or somewhere about, and bring them here and let them manifest here or create here, to make them, in a sense, real, although real is probably not the right word. So that's how it all comes together for me. I'm aware that may or may not be exactly what Tom was looking for, but it is the answer I have. So yeah, so let me know what you think is the point of it, and how art and creativity and magic and spirituality and all of these come together. And how then does, you know, what is the boundaries of art? Is being a house husband, you know, is that still art? Because you know, it's still creative, whatever. What is the boundaries of art? What's the boundaries of magic? What is every intentional act a magic act? And by that is every intentional act an act of art? What's your thoughts? What do you think? I would assume it's like it's that thing of like where the judge, I think it's a Canadian judge, said, I don't know, I can't describe what pornography is, but I know what it is when I see it. And it's kind of, that's what with art, you can kind of see, you know, well, that is art, that doesn't seem to be art. But, you know, if you had a different story to the thing that didn't seem like art, would it appear like art? I'll give you an example. we were watching a program one night about modern art, and there was this table. It was an office table. There was an ashtray on it. There was a computer, and there was a couple of other things. And my wife goes, what's that? That's not art or whatever. And for whatever reason, it came into my head of, but what if the story was that was the scene that the artist remembers? There was the second that happened that is in his memory is the kind of slide, and when he got the phone call to say that his mother had died, and that this is just that encapsulation of that scene or whatever, and it changed the entire art. It changed the kind of table. It changed the thing into a work of art rather than just being, oh, that's stupid. It's it's an office table. And that probably isn't the story. I don't know what the story is, and I don't know why that came into my mind. But it serves as a kind of always to remember for me that perspective and the story and the kind of intention behind it is the art, not necessarily, but sometimes it is the final piece. So yeah. Does it all come together? Maybe it doesn't, but that's my kind of thoughts on it today. Subject to change. I may have further thoughts, I may have less thoughts, I may have completely opposing thoughts in the future. So good people of the internet, I may or may not continue this, but I will for the time being, for at least another while, and we'll see how it goes after that. We'll probably have less time. Riggs is messing with stuff here. I'll probably have less time to do these once the comic starts proper, or at least I'll be doing more art type stuff, but I also want to keep in with the magic stuff. Obviously it's a big part of it as well, so we'll see how it goes. But that's just a heads up. That's where I am today. So good people of the internet, may your best days be ahead, and may your art be wonderful, and may your kind of delineation between art, magic, good fortune, life, spirituality, all of these things blend into one big happy mess. Be well.